Hello, this is Kim from EnglishWithKim.com. I am your guide to the essential conversation skills you need to sound more natural in English. Today, I want to teach you one of the easiest and most effective ways that you can start sounding more natural in English today. But first, I want you to imagine a situation. Let's say that you just returned from a trip to New York City. You went to New York either for a conference or for a vacation or just for a weekend trip. And you return and you're telling your native English speaking friend or colleague about your trip. And you want to tell them about the most beautiful hotel that you stayed in. And when you say that, you notice that they're looking at you a little funny, like they didn't quite understand you, but you're not really using complicated vocabulary. You use the right phrasal verbs. You feel pretty confident about your conversation skills, but something's off. And what's off is your word stress. The word hotel is actually stressed on the second syllable, hotel. And if you're stressing it on the first syllable, hotel, it's going to sound unusual to a native English speaker. They're going to need a moment to process what you said because you're not using the stress patterns that they're used to hearing. So let's talk a little bit about word stress. Word stress is when we make one syllable of a word longer, louder, and higher in pitch. And that's much easier to distinguish when you hear my voice than maybe when you hear a man's voice, but that's something you can practice. So if you notice, when I pronounce the word hotel, I'm making that second syllable longer, louder, and higher in pitch. So that makes a huge difference in how the word is received by your listener. Let's think about some other words. Experience. If you notice, a lot of people say experience, and it sounds different. It sounds a little funny because the word stress pattern is experience. University, right? Sometimes people say university, and it sounds a little weird. It should be university. What about patient, right? He's very patient. You got to stress that first syllable, patient, not patient. Let's talk about other words. Sincere, right? Sometimes people say sincere, and it's not correct. It should be sincere. Another word, education, right? A common word that we use all the time. And the good thing is that TION words have a pattern that you can recognize. Education. It's stressed on the syllable before shun. So this adds an extra level of learning to when you're studying vocabulary words. When you study the meaning of a vocabulary word and the appropriate context, you also want to include the correct word stress for that word. So if you're taking notes either in your mind or on paper, make sure you note the correct word stress for that word. If you need to check, be sure to look in a dictionary. The correct syllables are stressed in the dictionary, and you can double check the information there. But please pay attention to word stress. If you're having trouble being understood in English, it's probably not your pronunciation, your grammar, or even your vocabulary. It's actually your word stress. So paying more attention to your word stress will help you be understood in English and help you feel more confident and sound more natural when speaking English. I hope this tip was helpful for you. If you have any questions about specific words that you've learned, leave a comment below the video and I'll try to help you out. Thank you once again. I am Kim from EnglishWithKim.com. I'm your guide to the essential conversation skills you need to sound more natural in English. Have a good one. Goodbye.